I'm painting in this hallway today. But the problem is we have this super narrow stair set. Like, it's so narrow. I think it's barely a meter wide, if that. And I have this ladder. And I need to get up here, which is like a 12, possibly even 14-foot ceiling. This is the single part on both sides that I can't reach with the ladder in its normal position. So I put this old, like, footrest. It's like a very old footrest on this stair. And I'm gonna put the ladder sideways. Like 1 foot of the ladder here, 1 foot of the ladder here, and hopefully I'm not gonna tumble down that way and break my neck because I am home alone in order to do this. Because I decided to take on the idiotic task of hand wallpapering, stenciling, hand painting, and hand muraling my entire house, I have to do it to this room because I've already started. And also because I refuse to be a millennial who has painted their house plain farmhouse grey. This farmhouse grey will be covered in morning glory flowers whether I enjoy the task or not. Hint, I don't think I'm going to enjoy the task. Now, because I have this huge sideboard here, I've decided to just go around it and fill in the back if I ever get rid of this, because work smarter, not harder. No one can move this, I can't move it, so we painted around it, it's fine. We painted the grey behind it obviously, but that was before it moved in here. I've moved another Victorian sideboard that sits here typically because that one is movable by my hands, so I will paint behind that. I have this wall and then just some little half walls to go. Because I had the lovely accident that you saw yesterday, I cannot paint the hallway, so I will be stenciling up until the top of my stairs, which is over that way. Today's plan and the plan for the rest of this week is to just finish stenciling. If I can finish stenciling, I'm gonna be pretty happy. And then maybe start working on the lattice work that goes between each little opening, and then everything will be ready for me to begin painting. Hello, it is Friday and I got a lot of stenciling done yesterday, as you would have seen in that time lapse, and it's been the first lovely, like cold, crisp autumn morning, I think, of the year, honestly, this morning, which was so nice, because basically what I did was I got up, I had my coffee, I got on my computer, and I started working on my new book. The last couple of days I've been getting a lot of writing done on it, which has been fantastic. I just went onto the Thorpe Bowker website and actually registered it as a forthcoming title, so it officially has an ISBN, it officially has a title. I may start working on cover art as I work on the book, as I get little Easter eggs from the writing to put into the cover art, which I think will be really good. I also figured out my ending, which has been great, and I've like dot pointed my synopsis for that. I'm really excited. This is going to be my first book for adults slash young adults, and it's basically a cozy murder mystery set in London slash the countryside in Ireland, the Irish countryside, not in Australia. Most of my books are normally set in Australia, but this time I decided to change it up a little bit because it's set around the Christmas holidays and I really wanted there to be snow, so I had to pick somewhere in the Northern Hemisphere. Fun fact, I was like, oh, look at all the stenciling that I've done to my partner, and he was like, hey, I think you put a few stencils on upside down. That's how the stencils are meant to look. You can just see this like outline of the morning glory here, there's another morning glory here, a bud here and a bud here. The leaves look like that. And then this one, it is upside down. It's a little upside down, and then this one is a little upside down. And then this one is a little upside down. And then there's quite a few above the cupboard that are a little upside down. So that was a mistake that I will have to fix later, but I think it's only 6 stencils. I was going around the archway here, and I think that what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna end it at the archway, and then when I stencil the entryway, which still needs some touch-up work before I start stenciling, I can just do it as, I could just make it like the same pattern, but I don't have to wrap it because I don't think you're ever really going to be looking at the 2 pieces. Or maybe I'll just wrap it from here because there aren't that many things that need to be wrapped from the other side because I've already done that. So maybe I'll just wrap it on this side. You would have also seen that. But yeah, I need to take down these curtains today so that I can continue down here and figure out how I'm going to stencil in this little window section here. So like, and I need to fix this as well. Get my little corner brush in there. But yeah, I need to figure out how I'm going to wrap here. So take the curtains down. Also take these Christmas baubles down that have been there since December. Go above this cupboard. I'm not going to bother painting this linen cupboard white because I think we're going to rip it out and replace it with just a plain wall. And put the linen closet in future in one of the spare bedrooms. And then behind this bookshelf, and basically just up to the top of the stairwell. And then also the kitchen, which is a little messy, so I'm going to show you some like strategic shots that aren't of the bench. But yeah, it's mostly little bits of wall. There isn't a lot of full wall that needs to be done, which is great for time saving stuff. So I should be able to get this done today. And I mentioned that I'd show that layout. So like, let's say this here is the corner, like the end of the kitchen. There's this little doorway which goes into the office. Here's the sideboard. There's this Victorian thing. I would like to swap this, but this sideboard is too big for that wall. So it's a bit awkward, to be honest, but maybe this sideboard will eventually go on that wall when we get rid of that, or this one over there, it depends. Yeah, so into this Victorian buffet. It's just too pretty to give away, so it sort of like needs to be here because I love it. It's a bit messy at the moment because I've been moving stuff around and nothing's really sorted. Then yeah, we've got the curtains with the front window. Please ignore my collection of rugs that I need to clean and put in their places. Linen closet, and then stairwell. So basically the stairwell is like opposite this buffet, and I've just been going around. The goal of doing something like the hand stenciling is basically that I can like, well, hand stencil and paint it all, but the reason that I'm just doing it in white and I'm not too fussed about the lines turning out a little messy or anything is because this is really just a guideline. And then what I'm going to do after I've gotten this all on and the spacing mapped out is I'm going to go through and hand paint all the flowers and leaves in like fully, so they'll be green and purple and blue, sort of those kinds of morning glory shades, and there might be some slight variation between those shades as well. I plan to keep it relatively uniform, but again, I like a little bit of variation. I think it looks nice, and I think that ultimately this is going to look possibly a lot cooler than wallpaper, because one, it's not going to have any demarcation lines where each edge of the paper meets. I don't think I've ever really seen a wallpaper applied so beautifully that you don't get those lines, and I don't mind them, but I think it's really cool to see this the way that it is, just stenciled on the wall. So I'm really excited about the final color scheme and what that's going to look like. But it's a while until I do that. I'm going to do it all in succession. So like I start with this stenciling, and then I'm going to go through and I'm going to do all of the morning glory underpainting, and then I'm going to do all of the leaf underpainting, and then I'm going to mix up a big batch of like a pinky kind of cream color to do the lattice work and the lattice work shadowing and the details for the openings and things like that, which will be a lot more detailed in the next iteration, and I might stencil those details on in the beginning. So I've got to work out actually the order that I'm going to do all of this in. I just know I have an image in my brain of what I want it to look like, and I'm trying to get that out as best as I can.